Hi, Shaun. Thank you for joining the discussion today. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Kathy?
I'm doing great, thank you. The topic that I wanted to discuss today was when to list a practice with an asking price versus not.
One of the first questions I get asked from physicians about selling their practice is, should we list with an asking price or not at all? So it's a great topic.
Perfect. Okay, so my first question that I have for you is really how do you determine an asking price for a practice when you're listing for sale?
So we always begin with a formal valuation, and that means reviewing the last 5 years of financials, normalizing the income to reflect the market rate owner salary, and removing any non-recurring or personal expenses. And then once we calculate the seller discretionary earnings or EBITDA, depending upon the likely buyer, then we apply a market multiple based upon recent comparable transactions in that specialty or region. The goal is to position the practice right where the market data supports a fair value, never guessing or overpricing.
Okay. And then once this value is determined, how do you go about deciding when to list a practice for sale with or without an asking price?
So when we do publish that price, and when do we hold it back? That's the question. And so if the practice is straightforward, income driven, such as a single provider, family medicine or pediatric practice, we're usually going to go to market with an asking price. But if the practice is highly desirable or a strategic asset, say a concierge practice or behavioral health or regenerative medicine clinic that's growing quickly, we might list it as entertaining offers. And so that allows us to get the market to speak to us first, often leading to a stronger, more competitive offer.
Okay. And what are the pros and cons, if you had to say, for listing a practice without an asking price?
Yeah, so there are pros and cons. The upside is it draws a broader buyer pool, protects confidentiality, and sparks healthy curiosity. The downside is some buyers prefer to see a target number, and some sellers feel uneasy going to market without a price visible. But it's important to remember when this technique is used correctly, it is a strategy, not an indecision.
Okay. And how do you assuage any uncertainty from the seller's perspective that may stem from listing their practice without a price?
So, to keep the seller confident, we always discuss an internal private valuation range that we expect to achieve. We just don't publish that range when we go to market without a price. So, even though there is no asking price, we know exactly what value range we expect to achieve with every offer that's brought in. We're going to value that against this expected target range. And it
Hmm.
gives us more control and some flexibility with the offers that are going to come in.
Okay. And then from the buyer's end, what are the differences, if any, for pre-offer activities for practices listed with or without an asking price?
Yeah, so on the buyer side, listings without a price tend to create more thoughtful engagement. Buyers will spend more time reviewing the summaries, asking questions, and performing early due diligence. And then as a result, the offers are typically stronger, more defensible, and that's because they're based upon true value, not a number that's anchored to an asking price.
Okay. John, from your experience, do buyers present offers within the valuation range when an asking price is not listed?
Yes, most serious buyers do come in within or above the projected range that we've already privately discussed with our client. Experienced physicians, strategic groups, PE-backed consolidators all understand market multiples. So it's not whether a price is shown, the market's going to find its level. So as strategic medical brokers, our job is to guide that process to attract the right buyers, to position the practice accurately and negotiate from strength. And so my name is Shaun Rudgear with Strategic Medical Brokers. If you're wondering whether or not you should list your practice with or without an asking price, let's have a confidential discussion about your goals and the best strategy to protect your exit.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Shaun.
My pleasure.
Take care.